Hi YouTube, you ready to fix more switches? Well, I've got two more eBay buys. This one, the note says doesn't turn on broken port, okay? And then this one, it's in a bag because, let me show you. Because it's in near flawless condition. It's really nice. So I figured, avoid the marks, avoid the scratches, we'll just put it in a bag. So I recently did a broken port video on a switch. So how about, let's put this one aside and we'll go ahead and work on the really nice looking switch. See what's wrong with this. So before we even dig in, before we open it up, let's check on the amp meter. See how many amps it's drawing. Any at all. 0. Nothing. Okay. So let me turn the port around. See if that helps. No, nothing still. Okay, so this makes me think either completely dead board or bad port. I have never seen a board that's drawn 0. So let's look under the microscope real quick, see if we can see any damage to the port. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm not seeing any obvious flaws, any obvious damage. Sorry for that squeaking, it's my microscope boom stand moving back and forth. So let's go ahead and dig in here, see what we can find. Hopefully it'll be obvious. I imagine if it's going to be drawing absolutely 0 amps, nothing at all, that it should be pretty obvious. If not, I'm thinking it might be that main fuse right above the charge port. There's a tiny little fuse that goes in between the charge port and the M9 charge chip. I've never seen that blow, but I've heard people talk about having to replace that. So you never know. We might have to replace that fuse. Oh, and I didn't check. Do we have any goodies in the game card slot? No. Never get any goodies. Although the one time I did recently. I forget what switch I was working on. But I did get a goodie. Well, just at first glance, this is pretty dusty. I don't normally see them this dusty. Wow. So maybe it's been sitting around for a long time. Dead. Okay, here comes the shield. Oh, look at that. Somebody's been in here. Somebody has very obviously tried to replace the port. It looks like they didn't do it right. Okay. Hopefully we can work with that. Hopefully we aren't gonna have to deal with bad traces. Although normally that's what you have to work with whenever you have a bad charge port repair. Or maybe just the pins aren't soldered down correctly, because they don't look like they have a lot of solder applied to them. Yeah, maybe we just need to refloat or put down more correctly, I guess. Let me check this fuse though. This little fuse I was talking about. Let's see, where's me multimeter? Ah, there you sit. Okay, gonna check continuity between the two sides. Hold up. Where are you going? There you are. Nothing. Nothing at all. Okay. Okay. So it's it's actually that fuse. I've never seen that before. Wow, this guy must have really botched this port repair if he was able to blow this fuse. Actually, I'm going to test the capacitor that's right below, to the side of it, along the trace. See if that's messed up as well. Let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Better view for you. So, is either side grounded? Nope, just the one. Awesome, exactly what you want. And let me just go across a few of these. Okay. Ooh. Oh, wait. Okay, we're good. I was testing a short on both sides there, but I think I was hitting up against the metal shielding there. Well, this all looks good. All the capacitors beyond that fuse look good, so I'm not going to lay down a new fuse yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the board out and we're going to replace the port because I don't trust the job that person's done. Might be a fine job or it might be a crud job. I'm leaning more toward the crud job. Maybe they did a fantastic job. They know what they're doing, but maybe they don't work on switches all that often, so they didn't think to check the fuse. Maybe in their testing, they accidentally bridged a connection, blew the fuse, and then whenever it didn't turn on, they're just like, yeah, my port repair failed. Well, I don't know what to do now if it's not the port, so then they sold it for parts. I don't know. I guess we'll have more of a clear answer whenever we take off the port, so we can kind of draw together a potential story, something that may have happened with this portal switch. So let me undo this and we'll take a look at it. Okay, here it comes. So up till this point, it seems to be assembled really nice, like put back together exactly as it should be. You know, basically a job that I would do. So it makes me think either whoever worked on this knew what they were doing, and like I said before, they just blew the fuse and decided to quit, or this was their first time, messed something up, and really took the time to lay out exactly where everything went, screw it in exactly where it goes. It's real careful in their work. So either way, not bad, not a bad attempt. Obviously something went wonky. So I think I'm just gonna remove the port. Yeah, that's the best thing to do, so we can see the traces underneath. Now that it's all clamped in and ready to go, put some flux on it along the pins over here. And just because we're not going to be reusing this port. Maybe make it a little bit easier on me. I put some flux directly right in there, just like that. So now, get the hot air going. Sorry about that, that was my back cracking. Just kidding. That was my light. Imagine that though. That'd be one epic crack. Oh wait, I don't have my nozzle on it. Where'd you go, nozzle? There, use this one. Okay, now we're ready to heat. Let's go. I'm really excited to see what kind of work they did. Excited to see what we're going to be dealing with here. Oh, 350. Need more than that. I was doing some candle stuff recently, so all my heats are messed up. I would typically go a little bit lower in temperature. I'm 450 degrees Celsius right now. Going a little bit higher than usual because I don't care about preserving this port. If you go above 400, in my experience, it seems the plastic inside the USB-C port kind of starts to melt and melt. You don't want that. You want to keep that intact. But here, we don't care about that since we're just removing it and we won't be reusing this port. So, just go ahead and take the whole thing off with as much heat as we want. Whenever all the solder is molten, it'll either just kind of backflip, fall off, or you might have to nudge it a little bit out of place. I wish my light source was from a different angle, because casting shadows is what I need to see. Yeah, here we go. Okay. Ooh, I'm excited to see these pins, or these pads. See how damaged they are. Do we still have the microscope up? Yeah, we do. Okay. So let me just take this board. My tweezers, so I'm not touching it, because I'll get burned. And put it right under the microscope and have a look. Okay, here we go. Let's see, where are you? Ooh, those are some fine pads. Look at that. Okay, so I'm willing to bet that's 100% just the fuse went, and it spooked him, so he quit. Yeah, those look fine. Alright, so now just time to put on another port. Go get a fresh one. There's one of these that I put on something. I took it off. Here's this one. Yeah, this one will be good. Okay, time to prep these pads first. Let me shift your view so you can get the big microscope view. Yeah. Here we go. I love this transition. Being able to just move your view from one to the other without having to completely stop the recording helps me so much. I hope it's easier for you guys too. easier transition. You can still get the hand cam in the view if you want to see. Get some flux down. I might throw this in the ultrasonic cleaner afterward because he had a lot of dried flux everywhere. Oh, actually, I'm seeing a missing pad. Ooh, it's actually not as great as I thought. Although it is pretty good. It's right there. That pad. That looks to be the only one, though. And I'm not seeing any traces come up to it, which makes me think it's a ground. Let me... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a ground. Well, the best way to test would be on a spare board, which I do not have right now. So I'm just going to scrape this a little bit so I can be sure that there's no other little lines leading up to it. No, there definitely isn't. Okay, so I think we can just leave that and not worry about it. Let's clean up the solder off the pads. Melt this a bit. Get all this old solder off. This one little pad's being a jerk. There we go. Okay. So now time for real solder. Alright, so I've played around with it a little bit, and I think we're going to have a slight change of plans. So what I've done is, well, I put the port on, and let me show you the scope here. What else I've done. Okay. So, as you can see, the fuse, where that fuse was, I went ahead and took it out and put a line in. And then soldered down the pins on the USB-C port as best as I could. And I know the bottom row, the bottom pins are down. It's this top row that I just wanted to make sure we're in. And they're all down. That's 100%. So what happens whenever I plug it in is still the exact same thing. So put a battery in. This battery's working, by the way. Ignore this note. There's a voltmeter so you can see. See, it's pulling 0 amps because nothing's plugged in. Well, now when something's plugged in, the voltage goes up a little bit, as it should, 5.13, but it draws 0.01 amps. And if we reset it, take battery out, flip the port, or flip the connector, put it in, same thing, 0.01. So there's a bad line somewhere coming from the port going into the board, and I'm not sure where. I thought for sure it would be the fuse, but I guess not, and I tested continuity on the fuse, and it's showing fine. So I think what I'm going to do is take apart that other switch and go ahead and fix that one. So that way we can have a reference point to, just probe around and test, see what what line isn't going where. That's giving us the 0.01 amps. It would make more sense if it was a straight 0 amp reading, because that would mean, nothing's connected at all, which would make me think bad port, or bad port install. But I know for sure that port is good, because I laid it down, made sure it's all swell. So I don't know, this one's a thinker. So let's go ahead and get into this one now. Doesn't turn on, broken port. Let's see how broken this port really is. It actually doesn't look bad. I'm not seeing any pins out of place, just that rightmost section where the connector goes in looks a little bit melted or something. I'm not sure. And this switch is from a different guy too, so it's likely not the same issue. Actually, let's just try plug it in, see what happens before we get into doing stuff. My desk is so small sometimes. Yeah, something definitely is impeding it from going in. Wow. Yeah, that's not happening. Okay, so 100% port change. So let's go ahead and disassemble this and get to that point where we can take out the motherboard and give it a new port. Okay, so this switch was definitely open before. Some screws were missing. Some wrong screws were in there, and it's super dusty. Dusty switches today, I guess. So here's what it looks like. It's another replaced port. I keep getting these. Why do I keep getting these? Oh man. Another botched port replacement. Jeez, I didn't know I'd be getting 2 of these. Didn't know I'd be getting any of these. Oh well. It's what happens. It's what I rolled today. So now I'll just work my way down to the motherboard. Okay, let's see these pads. I don't have a good feeling about this one. Nope. Didn't think so. Whole bunch of destroyed pads. I'm pretty sure those are important too. At least 2 of them are. So you see this one leads up to another pin here, so that one's safe. But this one and this one, they both lead up to a point that I think goes through the board. We can try running a wire for those two. And then letting the new port sit on top of it. Okay, that was incredibly annoying, but now we can plug it in to see how I did. See if I got the port down right. Okay. Stay. Why do you want to move everywhere? Okay. Here we go. Plugging in now. 0.08, huh? Oh, the battery's not in all the way. Okay, now let's try. Still 0.08. Let's try flipping it. Yep, still 0.08. See if it changes when I take the battery out. No. Okay. Well, I'm going to come back to this later. Okay, so I'm back and I did a little bit of messing around just on my own terms, and I found something interesting. Just decided to check out the old M9 chip, see if there are any culprits, any capacitors around the chip that were acting up, and look at this. Okay, so we're going along, typical, testing on one side, beeping on one side. Good. Get up to this guy. Both ends. Same with him. And then the rest of these are good. These two. So it's just these two capacitors that are messing up. And I've never seen those capacitors themselves have issues. That always points to the chip. So we're gonna go ahead and take the chip off, and see if that removes those shorts. I'm sure it will. Okay, M9 is removed. So now let's test those capacitors again. What do you know? Short's gone. Very good. So was that chip. Alright. So let me get a spare M9. Let me search through my bag of goodies. I'm going to try to find one that I've lifted off of a board before. See, I think these are BQs. Yeah, these are too small. I might not have a used M9. Oh wait. I think this is one. Huh, I think that's my last one. Gonna have to restock. I'm gonna get it oriented correctly. That's the old one. This is the new one. These pads are used, right? Yeah, that's a used one. I'm not gonna bother putting down new solder. This will hold. I will put down new flux though. Still no short. Awesome. So I think it's time to plug it in. This one was the 0.08 amp one. Here's the battery. Oh, come on. Stay in frame. There you go. So we're looking for not 0.08 amps like we were getting before. Well, 0.19. That's different at least. Okay. Let's drop into 17. This might be a wonky battery, but I'm gonna swap. I'm gonna flip the connector upside down. Point 24, 28. Drop to 10. This is weird. Never seen this before. I'm gonna guess bad battery though. So how about I get the battery from the case? Because I don't know where my tester battery went. Just kind of disappeared on me. That one I was using to test right there was one that it was water damaged. And I refurbished it, and I wasn't sure because I hadn't tested it yet whether it was good or not. But there shouldn't be any reason why it, would not work. But apparently something didn't go right. 0.39, 26. I don't know. This one's being weird too. Although maybe this battery's weird too. This is strange. I don't have a known good battery around. Unless, I dig around and end up finding my tester, which I really should have kept around in plain sight. Because I'm not sure what else 0.30 amps could mean. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Yeah, let me do that. Let me go find a good battery, one that I absolutely know for sure will work. Okay, I've done a little bit of investigating. I put it back in its housing and put it up to the LCD, just enough to be able to test to see if anything's happening on the screen. So whenever I put this in, the one that I thought was okay, I don't want to put it in again and show you because it was kind of, making it freak out. The amperage was jumping between 0.1, 0.3, and 0, and the screen kept flashing. So I don't think that's good. So how about we put in the original battery that came in the case and watch what happens. Well, you can see the amp meter. So 0.41, 35, 21, and look at that, it's charging. I think that's, I think we're in the clear here. So I'm just going to let it sit for a while and come back to it later, see what happens. I'm pretty sure this is going to be good. I think we saved this. We revived the switch, but it's still going in the ultrasonic cleaner. It definitely needs a good clean, especially after all that flux and the leftover stuff from the last guy. So that'll be that for this switch. And then the other motherboard that we were playing around with, the one that was drawing absolutely 0 amps, even though we replaced the port, that'll be for another part, because this video is already getting pretty long. And I think I'm going to have to do some separate research for that one, because that one's kind of stumping me, for the time being at least. So I'll be back once this charges up enough to turn on. The switch has been charging for a while, and I came to check on it, and it has a black screen. So let's see what this black screen means. The amp meter is showing above 1 amp, which should mean it's fast charging. So whenever I unplug this, the screen should come on, if it's operating as it should. Okay, here we go. Yeah, look at that. The switch is working. We repaired it, so it looks like the problem was it had a bad charge port and M9 chip. I don't remember if this is the one that needed the trace repair. I don't remember. Either way, I'll do some more testing, and I'll do that off camera, so you don't have to watch the boring stuff. So the bulk of it's done. You watch the bulk of it, and I think that's all you care about. Okay, well, that should do it. That should be it for the video. If you liked what you saw, consider giving me a subscribe on the way out. Thanks for watching. Bye.